What does your favorite Arcane character say about you according to a psychology graduate student? In the words of my more than anything analysis, you probably think I'm just gonna say mommy issues, don't you? Huh. I expect so much more from you. How did that disappointment feel? Familiar? Hello, burnt out, formerly gifted child. How are you? How's your accelerated reading level? How's that instrument that you were forced to play at a very young age? Which one was it? Doesn't really matter. I'm just curious. Leave it in the comments because I want to know. If Caitlyn's your favorite character, it says a couple different things. You could fit into all of them. You could fit into only one or two. You could fit into none of them. And that's always the ones that make me laugh the most. We're like, ha, you didn't get me. I'm like, didn't I? Let's dig a little deeper. Let's find out. But there is one thing, one singular thing that unites all Caitlyn stans. And no, it's not what you think it is. We're going to get to that later because, wow. No. It's one singular thing. It is the fact that not one of you will ever be satisfied. The feeling of satisfaction is an unknown thing to you because it doesn't matter what you do, what you accomplish, what you come up with. You will never think that it's good enough. You will never think that what you have contributed is the same caliber as the people around you. There is a hyper independence about you that is usually seen in very smart children that started in group projects where you knew that if you didn't do it right, it wasn't going to get done. I think that has continued on with you in every single thing in your life. You have to be the one in control. And out of all of the characters in Arcane who so desperately need control, there is no one, not a single one, that needs it more than Caitlyn. And that, by extension, my darlings, goes to you. Because if you are not in control, bad things happen. If you are not in control, then you feel foolish. And feeling foolish is the worst thing in the world for you. Now, that's different than when you're trying to make people laugh, because you're actually really good at that. But you hate, more than anything, not knowing something, looking ignorant, not having the ability to express what you're really thinking, and having people misunderstand you. Your desire to be understood, to connect, to communicate is so prevalent in your life that you will have a tendency to over-explain yourself, especially if it's in text message. You cannot just do like a simple text message sentence. There always has to be a follow-up or parentheses or like an emoji or an LOL at the end so they know what your actual tone is. You have to make sure that you are known at all times because you are so used to people misunderstanding you, and how deeply lonely that feels. This unattainable need for perfection, this dream of being the best that you can be, even though you think you're simultaneously the worst, did not come from you. We are not born with this. It comes usually from one specific person. So no, if you are a Caitlyn fan, that doesn't mean that you necessarily have mommy issues. But since we're on the topic, we'll go ahead and dig a little deeper into it because you're gonna fall into a couple different parts of the spectrum, because there is mom and then there is mommy. Which one appeals to you? The desire that you have to not only be understood, to be valued, to have someone say that they're proud of you, but to also be nurtured in a way that you didn't have as a child, or at least not up to the way that you feel like you needed it, is so innate inside of you. You need someone, typically a maternal figure. Doesn't have to be. Sometimes it's a daddy issue. Sometimes it's, anybody that falls in that spectrum, but it's usually someone who's older or someone who's in a position of authority to look at you and say, don't you worry, I'm gonna take care of you. Why don't you go ahead and relax and play video games? Why don't you come in and just enjoy yourself? I'll take care of things. Don't you worry, I've got this. There is a part of you that so badly wants to hear it that you would break down crying if you came home and someone says, I've got this. I cleaned the apartment. I took care of your dog. I put gas in your car. That is your love language. You like all the other ones, the words of affirmation, that's all good, but there is nothing that gets to your heart like someone doing things so you don't have to do it because you are tired. You are so tired, baby. Just deep down in your soul, because there's a difference between sleepy tired and soul tired. You are tired. So to have someone come in and take care of things is simultaneously the best and the absolute worst thing ever. Because there's the other side of you that goes, oh, no, 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 no. I need to clean my stuff. No, I need to take care of things. Please don't do that. Dear God, drop what you're doing right now, because the more that you do for me, the worse I feel. How does that feel? Because that's the sticky part of mommy issues. It's simultaneously wanting to be nurtured and taken care of, but also feeling guilty about it. And I think possibly a little spoiler for my Victor analysis I'm going to do, because yes, it is coming. Your guilt is one of the strongest factors in your life. You sincerely feel guilty if anybody does anything kind for you. And I think for you, the worst thing in the world is having to sit there when people are singing happy birthday or giving you gifts and you don't know what to do with your hands. You don't know what to do with yourself. You just, okay, I'm ready for this big day. Okay, if there could be no more attention on me, that would be great. Because you had a lot of it when you were younger for things that you really didn't have any control over. You had an accelerated reading level. You were pretty good in school. You were mature for your age. Any of these things sounded familiar? They should. And that's not to say that every single person who likes Caitlyn is this human being. That's just usually what I see. But I would also be remiss if I didn't bring up the elephant in the room, which is going to be relevant to a lot of characters in Arcane, because they're just hot. This is a hot cast. And there's a good possibility that if you like Caitlyn, slay. Because if I say, hey, remember that scene? You know which one I'm talking about. Do I really need to say more? No? Some of you? Okay. The jail scene? Goodbye. Oh, good. I'm so glad that we're on the same page now. I really had to say that. We all know what the scene was. It was a masterpiece. It was delicious. It was perfect. You know the scene. I know the scene. We're all here in the same scene together. And yes, you are correct. Caitlyn is beautiful. And you probably like ladies. Or you're an ally. Either or. Either way, good for you. We're happy you're here. Your need to prove that you deserve to be here is getting to a point where it is almost becoming debilitating for you. If it's in friendships, if it's with your coworkers, wherever you are, you feel like you have to earn your place in the group. And that's just not true. Everyone is happy that you're here, and no one is mad at you. Let me just make that very clear. No one is mad at you. And whoever that was that popped into your brain, maybe there's some conflict there, maybe it needs to be resolved, but people on the whole, no one's mad at you. No one is disappointed in you. And even if people have said things like that in the past, it doesn't make it true. You are not a failure. You matter. Your heart matters, your mind matters, and it's okay to take a break because, baby, you need one. You just need to take a few moments. I'm not saying you gotta go off on a vacation, though it would be nice, but in this economy, I don't think so. Just taking a few moments to do something that makes you happy, to do that self-care that I know you don't do, those lists that you have prepared that you don't actually follow and then you feel like you failed because you can't follow the list, all of those things put to the side for a few minutes to let me remind you that you are good and you are enough and you deserve to be here, and I am so proud of you. I'll see you in the next part. Stay classy, my darling.